What's going on? It's Astronaut H, and this is What More Do You Want Network. Now, in this video, I will be discussing NBA second round playoff series, and this is a preview of the Cavaliers versus the Indiana Pacers. And man, I think this series is going to be very, very exciting. I expect nothing but high level basketball in this series. But before I get into that, let's talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers ultimately showing why they deserve to be the number one seed versus the Miami Heat, and they put on an absolute clinic. You look at what they did top to bottom, even losing Darius Garland towards the end of the series, they still were able to trug along. The train has not fell off the track at all, and that's going to be something that's going to be very interesting in this series. If the Cleveland Cavaliers lose a game, how would they fare, right? That's going to be one of the things, because this is a team who swept their last opponent. So you've been sitting at home resting. So of course we all know the terminology rest over rust. Which one would you prefer? And Donovan Mitchell said something to that effect. He prefers the rest and things like that, but they will be ready for this series coming up versus the Pacers. And I don't doubt that. This Cleveland Cavaliers team will be ready. It's going to be an all hands on deck approach. I see, great things coming about in this series from both sides, but the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are top to bottom one of the better teams, not only in the East but also in the NBA, is one of those things where you look and you say, well, they have Donovan Mitchell, they have Darius Garland, they have, Ty Jerome, they have Evan Mobley, Jarrett Allen, DeAndre Hunter. The list goes on and on and on. And this Cavaliers team is one of the better coach teams. This is one of the better veteran teams. They don't have a lot of young, guys. I feel like their roster is filled out with a lot of veterans outside of like Evan Mobley and things like that. I feel like their roster is filled out with guys who have been in situations, playoffs and things like that, and know what it takes to get it done. Now, the same thing can be said about the Indiana Pacers. Top to bottom, you look at a team that just beat the Milwaukee Bucks with a Giannis Antetokounmpo. Did not have Damian Lillard due to injury and things like that, but this was a Pacer team that you can tell that they are focused. This is a Pacer team that you can tell that in looking at how they ultimately ended the series versus the Milwaukee Bucks, they know what it takes to end games, right? They just did not go away in that series versus the Milwaukee Bucks. You look at a team that's spearheaded by Tyrese Halliburton. They want to play an up-tempo pace of basketball, but having a Pascal Siakam, having a Miles Turner who's playing very, very well in this playoff run. You look at their coaching with Rick Carlisle. You look at the Andrew Nembhards. You look at just their bench play with T.J. McConnell, Obi Toppin, Benedict Mathurin. I like what I've seen from the Pacers in the first round. Now, granted, the Bucks are not the Cavs, and the same thing can be said. The Pacers are not the Heat. So this series, I think, is going to check a lot of boxes. I think we're going to get exciting brands of basketball. I think we're going to see, a lot of scoring. Now, make no mistake, there's going to be high level defense played as well. You look at Jarrett Allen, you look at Miles Turner. I think front court is going to definitely have a lot to say in this series, as well as the stars. But we know that now Donovan Mitchell doesn't have to brunt brunt all of the responsibility as far as scoring is concerned with this Cleveland Cavaliers team. So if the Pacers do choose to load up on Spider, there's others now. You got the Max Struses who can hit the wide open threes and things like that, and there's Garland getting to the paint, dishing it off to the bigs and things like that. Same thing can be said about the Pacers. We know that Tyrese Halliburton and his style of play wants to dictate the pace of the game, whether it's a fast, mid-tempo, up-tempo, whatever the case may be. So it's going to be, looked at as what or who dominates more as far as both of these teams go. I think it's going to come down to which bench plays better. Honestly, I think it's going to be about the 6th, 7th, maybe 8th guy on each team respectfully. But for me, I can't go against the Cleveland Cavaliers in this series. I think the Cavs have a little more in the tank because, not only being a number 1 seed, but I feel like this is a team that's on a mission. This is a team in Cleveland that knows what's at stake, being the number 1 seed and possibly being able to not only get to the Eastern Conference Finals, but possibly the NBA Finals. So for that reason, I'm going to take the Cleveland Cavaliers to win this series in 6 games. I think this series is going 6. I think the Cleveland Cavaliers win this series 4-2. Now, this is an Indiana Pacers team who, we seen a year ago get as far as, the Eastern Conference Finals against the Boston Celtics. But, I think that the Cavs have just a little more. I could be wrong, but I'm going to take the Cleveland Cavaliers here. And I expect nothing but a great series back and forth. I think it's going to be very, very good. And maybe, possibly, I'm going to throw this out there. I think it's going to come down to which team, wins on the road first. Whichever team wins on the road first, I think that's going to be the team that has a little more of an edge. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Indiana Pacer fans, Cleveland Cavaliers fans, basketball fans, NBA fans, or if this is just your first time tuning into the channel, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell to know anytime a video is being uploaded to the channel. It's Astronaut H. I'll catch you guys on the next video.